Hello, this is Kyle again from Midnight Paranormal Files with a new podcast episode. This time we are going to be talking about the Witchwater Triangle, or not the Whitewater Triangle. Sorry about that. Anyway, so Whitewater is another town in Wisconsin. I know I always talk about Wisconsin because that's where I'm from, and I'm doing like the more local stuff first, and then I'll get branch out into like our states nearby, then eventually throughout the whole country. But anyway, um, but yeah, Whitewater is considered the second Salem of the U.S. supposedly because of a bunch of witch trials and stuff happened there, and I guess they had classes in the what's its face, the university that they have there, but they have like seances classes and stuff like that, which is pretty odd for a college or university if you ask me. It'd be cool though. But yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about. So they say that this triangle has like three different cemeteries, and inside the triangle is it's all haunted inside this triangle. Um, One of them is called Calvary Cemetery, uh, Hillside Cemetery, and I guess that's it. I can't think of the R one, but anyway, yeah, that's what we're gonna be talking about today. Now, Whitewater is a pretty. I actually never been there myself personally, but I always want to go there because uh of all the stuff that I heard about this place. And yeah, we'll get into the story now. The first stop of the area that I'm on a website I'm reading this through is Witch's Tower, the first and most iconic site of the legend of Whitewater that uh, they covered is the water tower, otherwise known as the Witch's Tower. The White Water Tower was built in 1889 and is the second oldest working tower in Wisconsin that is still has water on top. It works on maintaining the pressure rather than dispe- dispensing water. This tower has faced some changes over the years. There is a gate that goes around the outside. Back in 2008, the gate was changed for having barbed wire on top of facing inward as if to keep something inside instead of keeping people out. Currently, the gate just has points going on upward that makes getting inside the tower difficult. The gate is locked as well as the door to the tower. It is a big lock that is unlocked with a huge key, which is kept by the city. Otherwise, there is no way out once you are inside the tower. It is believed that the witches are buried underneath the tower and are still alive. It's funny that they brought up the barbed wire is keeping something inside of the place. Makes you kind of wonder if like witches are actually inside of it a little bit. The second stop is Calvary Cemetery. The center of campus is a home to Calvary Cemetery. It is said that the most paranormal occurrences happen within the triangle, and residence halls are not too far from this point of the triangle. Uh, the, they don't really have much on Calvary Cemetery. I'm guessing it's haunted because it's a cemetery, even though I personally don't think that every single cemetery out there is haunted or anything like that. Like how everybody makes it out to believe that, oh, there's like a haunted cemetery. I don't think they're that haunted personally, a lot of them. Because how often does a person in their lifetime actually go to the cemetery besides on like days like Memorial Day, or when somebody passes away in their family or a friend, or maybe you're strange and you go out there like every weekend or whatever. It's at where you live by a cemetery. But besides that, the regular person doesn't go there like all the time. So it's like it's kind of hard to say that cemeteries are haunted when you like barely spend time there. Uh, anyway, going off on a whole cemetery rant. The third stop is Hillside Cemetery. This is the resting place of spiritualist Morris Pratt and self proclaimed witch Mary Worth. According to the Whitewater Chamber of Commerce Spirit Tour 2016, the legend of Worth suggests that she practiced witchcraft and cursed people living in Whitewater, including the Winchester family, due to a dispute she had with the family. The end result of Worth's curse, family members Charles Marble and Lucius Winchester died all within the same year, and the family's business was completely shut down by 1893. The cemetery board decided against burying her in what they suspected was hollow ground, despite Worth's required to be buried in Hillside Cemetery. Worth was instead put to rest in an above ground crypt, and result Worth cursed all of the Whitewater for going against her request. That one was pretty interesting. Like, are they taught? I didn't really research this beforehand that much. I just wanted to talk about it because it's interesting. But they said Winchester family, and I kind of wonder if they're related to Winchesters themselves or not. Makes me kind of wonder now. But I guess they do have like spirit. What I said that literally out loud when I was reading through this, but yeah, the fourth place that we're going to talk about is residence halls. Paranormal occurrences have been encountered in the residence halls for by a few students, including SRO and vice president of Second Salem Paranormal Investigation Team with Libby Hoggett, which I guess they host like spirit walks and stuff there. I guess so. With the residence halls here at UW Whitewater, there have been sightings of a little girl dressed in white. She is supposedly goes around through each building. She's been sighted in quite a lot of the older ones, such as Clem, Bigelow, Lee, Wells, Neil, I don't know how to pronounce that, and Wellners. A lot of giggling and running up and down the halls, and two of the rooms have been claimed by a lot of students here on campus, particularly myself, as Zaro said. My first year here, I lived in Wells East on the seventh floor, and I would always feel creeped out walking through the halls by myself. One day of Family Fest, I was in my room watching TV with the doors open. Most people were at the football game or gone for the weekend. I was facing away from the door, and I heard a little girl's giggling in the hall. I poked my head out and did not see anybody. I poked myself into the bathroom and in our wing and nothing. I went back in my room and sat down and heard it again. Huggett said. For more on, but yeah, I guess that's some of the stuff that happened at Whitewater. I'll put the link for the website down below for you guys to see all this stuff, which is it's just a weird place. Another haunted place that's there is Hamilton House B&B. The big, beautiful Victorian bed breakfast built on top of underground tunnel, and according to legend, the ghost of little boy Posey and his mother Sarah haunts it. Book a stay in Sarah's old room, the Pissarro, to hear about a time that the house had a doll museum where dolls just wouldn't stay put. And maybe in early morning hours, you'll hear Sarah humming in East Garden. The Winchester House. Chaos and mayhem erupt behind closed doors at Territure Realty office, formerly the home of Lucas Winchester. Lucas Winchester, who was cursed by supposed witch Mary Worth, now haunts the building, regardless in anger, taking a drive by late at night and see if you could catch a strange flicker of light or the ghost of Lucas move past a window, which we just talked about that. Uh, Another one is UW Whitewater Greenhill Center of the Arts. An entire an entity or two or more haunts CA according to a number of students and staff. Late at night, you could hear hammering coming from the metals room. Chairs move around in various classrooms. A ghost roams the backstage and young auditorium. In the basement, where you'll find endless practice rooms, elevator elevators descends from upstairs and opens that you see her passing by. So I guess those are just a little bit like extra credit stuff for Whitewater. Um, there's a lot more about this place, about this town. Um, I don't know uh what year this town has been founded. I didn't really look to research all this stuff, which I should have, but it is what it is sometimes. They do not have much information besides that, and this I first well, some people first heard about this from Wisconsin weird legends or some kind of weird book by Linda S. Godfrey. Uh, I'll actually look it up right now for you guys if you want to know what it is. Um, it's Weird Wisconsin. That's what it's called. And it's on a certain page where they talk about it. But yeah, that's a story of Whitewater. I hope you guys enjoy what I just talked about with Whitewater and stuff like that. Yeah, they did do a seance in the early 1880s. I could just keep going on and on with talking about Whitewater and the weirdness, but I'm gonna probably stop the podcast here shortly. Um, but yeah, that's all the stuff that I did find though about Whitewater is that there's three haunted cemeteries, and the whole town is basically haunted, they say. And they have tunnels that lead to all these different buildings and stuff in Whitewater. And that's how the witches get to one building to the next, is using these underground tunnels, which is pretty interesting also. And I hope you guys like the podcast. I know this is just another short one, but I figured to make them last from 14 or 15 minutes up until 30 minutes. I think that's a good time frame. I know some people probably like longer podcasts, but I don't want to bore you got people by talking about this for a whole hour. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this.